Hi everybody, it's Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well. Today I want to talk a little bit about mitochondria and just kind of give us a little overview of a supplement that actually is targeted specifically for mitochondria. Now, it's thought that in science we're looking, again at cellular health, and it appears that the human body has somewhere around 30 trillion cells, and in the energy production within the confines of that cells, 90% of it is taking place in the mitochondria, which are called the powerhouse organelle of the cell. And different areas of the body have different numbers of mitochondria in each cell. For instance, the liver has maybe 1,000 to 2,000 mitochondria per cell. The brain, even more, and the heart, around about 5,000 per cell. But the most number of mitochondria are found in eggs, human eggs, which have about 100,000 to 600,000 mitochondria. So very important as far as reproduction and creation is concerned, as far as using that egg and a sperm together to create human life. And these mitochondria are really important for overall cellular health. And as we age, the number of mitochondria begin to go down. The functioning aspects of each of these mitochondria goes down. So there's more dysfunction related to oxidative stress. And when that happens in the mitochondria, it can pour out substances within the cell that are very damaging. And it's really important to be able to go in and clean that up. We've used the term autophagy in terms of cellular recycle, but there is also this term called mitophagy, which is the cellular renewal of mitochondria within that cell. And the process that takes place is that these mitochondria have to be broken down, and any of the damaged fragments need to be removed, and the healthy fragments can then be regenerated into new mitochondria and then fused into the mitochondria that are within the cell already. But that process is called mitophagy, and there are substances in the body that we make or that we can take in and ingest that can improve that, and as a result increase the turnover and the number of mitochondria in cells. And you can imagine that muscle cells are very important for mitochondria because that is truly where we expend a lot of our energy. Now, obviously, the brain and the heart are independent of what we can control, so they are important for mitochondrial health. But as far as just what we assess and what we can perceive is muscle type work and how muscle performs and how it regenerates and how much endurance we have in terms of just physical activity. And there's not a day that goes by that people come into the office and are complaining of just fatigue. It's rare to have somebody walk in and go, gosh, I just have more energy than I can deal with. Most of us are really struggling in that area. So I want to introduce you to a product called Urolithin A, or molecule Urolithin A. And this is a molecule that is we actually produce it. Many of us can produce it well in the gut. Only about 40% though can really do a very good job. And even over time, that number of people really have a hard time. But this particular product is a product that is an extraction from pomegranate, and it is actually 6 times more powerful than just drinking a glass of pomegranate juice. And you can't drink enough pomegranate juice to get this type of impact without it really costing in terms of calories. And who wants to drink 5 or 6 glasses of pomegranate juice every day? It's just seemingly not practical. So this particular product called Urolithin A, made by a company, and is called MitoPure, and is available now in a couple of products, is very impactful in terms of what it can do. And the number of studies that have been taking place over the last 5, 6, 7 years has just escalated tremendously. First, initially seeing this product do well in animal models. They saw a 45% improvement in lifespan of the C. elegans, which is just a worm, and then they moved to mice and rat studies, and now we're doing human studies, and we have ongoing trials at this point. And certainly this particular substance, or urolithin A, has been deemed generally safe, and no real aspects of problems of side effects with this particular supplement. So this has been cleared as far as a supplement that we can use with freedom and not really have any concerns. They've done studies with 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams, and most of the replacement is just 500 milligrams a day. It's not an inexpensive supplement, but it's quite a beneficial supplement. And what we've seen with this particular product, besides what we've seen with in animal and worm studies, is that we now have a double-blind placebo controlled trial of 4 weeks of this in athletic, both men and women, anywhere from 60s to 80s, showing significant improvement in secondary type assessment of mitochondria. There's really not a great test for mitochondria that we have, so we have to rely on sort of secondary types of expression in terms of musculoskeletal mitochondrial genetic expression, and then what we call plasma acetylcarnitines. And so these are secondary outcomes and not something that we can actually directly measure like a blood test, say for instance, a calcium level or a magnesium level. We just don't have a specific test available yet, but we are starting to see significant benefits in what we can perceive with muscle, particularly. And it's not just skeletal muscle. We know that there's improvement in heart, and they've shown some studies in post-MI patients and how it can reduce damage to heart muscle. We've seen improvement in lipid panels, as well as decrease in amyloid and tau plaques in the brain in neurodegenerative changes. We've seen marked improvement in gut barrier function, and we know that there are a lot of aspects of the gut microbiome that can be improved with this particular substance, as well as improvement with liver and glucose control and kidney function. So there are all aspects of the body have great ability for improvement and the benefits of this particular product. I have been using a product by Timeline, this MitoPure product that's just a sachet powder, for probably the last 6 months or so. And I think that along with what I've talked about in the past with spermidine, and we'll do a little bit more on that in the future as well, I think are really great benefits as far as aging is concerned, because anything we can do to clear up the cellular cells that are in trouble and that are basically these zombie cells, what we call cellular senescence, by clearing out the damaged particles and areas within cells and regenerating cellular strength. And obviously with endurance, we know that with our hormone program, we have a lot of benefit, but certainly supplements as well. And I think Timeline or Urolithin A has been a very beneficial product. We do not carry that here in the office, but certainly you can get it. There are 2 companies that I'm aware of that actually have this particular product. Now, there are products out there that have pomegranate extracts, etc., but you would then have to rely on the body to go through the production benefits of making this urolithin A. And as I said, only about 40% of people can do that within their gut. And but there are food substances that are great. You can do raspberries and strawberries. Walnuts are also very high in the precursors for this particular molecule of urolithin A, and many polyphenols as well. Coffee and chocolate have some of these types of precursor molecules that will help the body. But absolutely taking the supplement can be, I think, of great benefit too, especially if you are struggling with a lot of fatigue and muscular issues. So just wanted to share that particular supplement with you. This is Urolithin A, generally 500 milligrams a day, whether in a powder or capsule form. This is not, unfortunately, a very inexpensive supplement. And so hopefully over time and with more research and more availability, we'll be able to get this down to a price point that is something that we can all use. But in the meantime, again, when we look at these supplements, maybe it's not something you do all the time, but just cycle in and out of. So there may be opportunities that you can use some of these substances at times for a month at a time, once or twice a year, and there may be some long-term benefit. But hopefully we'll continue to have more studies and more information will be coming out over time. Hope you all have a great week, and we'll visit again next week.